Hey everyone, it's time to Nefis and chill. In this video, I'll be showcasing the Dragon Knight Heavy Attack DPS build that garners north of 90k DPS. I'll be going over the stats, the gear setup, and so forth real quick. Everything in full detail is on the ESO University build page, linked in the video description and comments down below if you want to check it out. Real quick, you can do 64 to Magicka or stamina, really based on both race and also kind of like what kind of utility skills or even core combat actions you want out of it. Perhaps you want 64 into stamina for more roll dodges and more blocks while being an orc or something. For this build, I was a Altmer or High Elf with 64 points in Magicka. Mundus Stone is a thief. For content, I would recommend, for most cases, the Bystat food of max health and max Magicka. Otherwise, you can also go with a pure max Magicka stat food for either parsing or even really for content too, as long as you're not taking too much damage. And even if you are in Oakenknight, so it's just a lot of damage mitigation. We also do have the Essence of Health for resistances, so you get a unique amount of spell and physical resistances by 5,280 on top of your major resolve from Oakenknight, which makes you really tanky, and especially on Dragon Knight with some added resistances, that's pretty significant. It also gives you a nice burst of health. Otherwise, if you don't want to make that potion, you can also stick with Tri-Stat potions or just regular potions, doesn't really matter. The recommended race is going to be Altmer, Dark Elf, or Khajiit, depending on what you want to do. For solo or 4-man content, because of the critical damage cap, you can go Khajiit. Won't matter too much. In regards to the alchemical formula for that potion I mentioned before, a lot of people are asking about it. It's also on the website. Mudcrab Chitin, Mountain Flower, and Bugloss are going to be the ingredients. Gear setup is going to be 1-piece Slime Crawl in light, 5-piece Stormmaster on body in medium, 1-piece Sergeant's Mail heavy chest to get most of your resistances. All the traits on your body pieces will be divines with magic enchantments if you go with the magical route. And of course, on the jewelry and front bar weapon or Oni bar weapon, you're going to have Sergeant's Mail because Sergeant's Mail is a heavy armor set, and as a damage dealer, you probably don't want to go 5-piece heavy on body. You probably want to go 5-piece light or 5-piece medium. Jewelry traits will be Bloodthirsty with enchantments of physical harm, Shock Staff or Lightning Staff on the front bar or Oni bar. Sergeant's Mail Precise trait with either a Flame enchant or a Poison enchant. If you're by yourself in Overland or solo content, you can definitely consider going with 5-piece Noble Duelist Silk or 5-piece Order's Wrath. They're both really good, decent sets, and one of them is even craftable. So yeah, that's definitely an option to go with. On your skills, your typical skills for just full damage is going to be Venomous Claw, Flames of Oblivion, Burning Talons, Barbed Trap, Eruption, and your ultimate will be Standard of Might. You can definitely swap out the Flames of Oblivion or even Barbed Trap in some cases, or other skills that are healing abilities like Coagulating Blood or Resolving Vigor and what have you if the situation calls for it. Now, before we get to explaining the rotation, I'm also going to go over the champion points real quick. So it's going to be Wrathful Strikes, Deadly Aim, Backstabber, Weapons Expert for your Warfare or Blue Tree. We did test Off Balance, but it's not very favorable compared to Wrathful Strikes because of the nature of the Dragon Knight skills and the Dragon Knight rotation with this build. The timing for Off Balance in terms of burst damage or just timing some certain things just doesn't mesh well as when compared to things like Warden or Sorcerer. Your fitness slotables are going to be definitely Balanced Vitality, Fortified. Celerity is really nice because of that movement speed gain, because when you're heavy attacking, you do slow down, so it's harder to get out of the AoEs and stuff like that. Your fourth slotable can be things like Bastion if you can use a shield or damage something with shields. You can also do more sustained slotables like Expert Evasion, stuff like that. So it's a pretty free game, honestly. And unlike a couple of the other classes like Warden, the Dragon Knight doesn't really have too much critical damage built into them as a class, so we do need Backstabber if you're wondering about that. But otherwise, you definitely always will need Deadly Aim and Weapons Expert, as these two slotables are essential to a heavy attack build in terms of the mathematics. for your single target opening burst damage rotation, it should be pre-buffing with Flames of Oblivion, setting down your Barb Trap on target, and then casting Eruption on target, followed by Heavy Attack Weaving Venomous Claw, then Heavy Attack Weaving Burning Talons, and then finally casting Standard of Might after yet another Heavy Attack. After that, you should simply use Burning Talons as a spammable between each Heavy Attack, while trying to keep up the other damage over time effects whenever they fall off. It is important to always just Heavy Attack Weave after each skill cast, so keep that in mind. If able, you should cast Standard of Might as it comes up when at least 3 of your dots are still on target. This rotation for Dragon Knight was surprisingly quite straightforward, compared to maybe a 2-bar Dragon Knight DPS, maybe because there's just less dots, and requires not too much thinking about the off-balance timing compared to Sorcerer or Warden. And once you realize that you can press the input for a skill before a heavy attack ends so that your character queues up that skill instead of you pressing the input and timing with a typical light attack rotation, which is usually a big obstacle for a lot of newer players, it's actually quite calming and a little peaceful. All in all, the Dragon Knight heavy attack build hits very hard and still rewards you with damage even if you mess up a little bit. It does have incredible burst the moment you put that standard down, and it should also help you survive content while also paying attention to content more as you're heavy attack weaving. Thank you so much for checking out this build video. I appreciate every one of you. Definitely do subscribe to the channel if you want to support us. We'll really appreciate it, and see you guys next time.
Okay.
The great cycle. He bids you follow, if you possess the skill.
No, I didn't forget. Nephis, yo bitch ass, you're next.
Your real challenge starts now.
Yes, he's orange. Oh, okay.
You may have insulted your combat prowess.
That's yellow. Not the same thing. That's yellow. Okay, not even remotely the same situation. Not.
He stands defiant against your strikes.
This guy seems annoying.
Another wishes to test their mettle. Protect me, Dreadlord!
What's with the laser show? Okay.
That last one was a big guy. Strong work, outsider.
There's a bunch.
Neruns Tego in book.
Oh. Okay.
wishes to meet you. Can you take the heat?
Oh.
My destruction pleases the exalted.
And with him
Ah.
down, you complete the brimstone.
Well done, outsider. You perform beyond that.
You made it all the way to the end. Only one final challenge left. Me? Oh, what?
Oh, wait.
Oh, magic! I feel it tearing me apart.
I missed where you died, I guess. I was just thinking that. Armed with him. A polymorph for her would be really cool. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Oh.
The Void Mother. We did not summon such a creature for this challenge. Vateshran's rights now end.